And we have a figure of great renown who's joined us in the studio, Dr. Howard, Balance in Nature, so many years. You've heard the advertisements. You've seen him on TV. He's obviously an expert. I've known him for years in promoting your product and taking your product. But now John, who is a real animal lover, you know, when John ran for mayor in 2013, he had the first platform ever in the history of American politics, no-kill shelters. He and his wife, Margot, they just love animals and help so many groups that care for animals. But now, Dr. Howard, you have an expert in here who's helped develop a new product for you that has nothing to do with human beings, but people almost like they become family members. That's what they considered pets.
That's what I was going to say. It has all to do with human beings for me, but then we've got Dr. Jake here who's helped me bring it to animals.
You know, you kind of explained before we got on air how animals impact your relationship at home, and that's what we see across the country is how much benefit and love we have for animals and how much happiness it brings.
You know, Pew Research study just came out. 97% of Americans who responded, some voted for Trump, some voted for Harris, some are independents, view their pets, their animal friends, as family members. When they were asked, who do you have more pictures of in your iPhone and your smartphone? Oh, overwhelmingly our friends who are considered family members now. What about your children, your grandchildren, your aunts, your uncles, your nieces, your nephews, your grandparents? Nope. And they'll show you. They're so proud because the one thing is you could have had the worst day imaginable and you come home and you're getting grief from everybody. But that pet, whatever it is, cat, dog, or others, yeah, they just absorb all that anger. It's almost like they take it out of you, and you end up with a smile on your face.
Yeah, they lift you up. You know, they bring so much happiness, and no matter what, they love you.
How do we make the dogs live longer?
That's the question.
You know, that's my biggest. You know, my son lost his dog, and he was only 11, 12 years old. The dog, and maybe my son was 12 too. And, I mean, we sat on the floor and cried for 3 hours.
You know, I learned this as a physician with people. As I started working in the emergency room. So when I was 14 years old, I started thinking that saving lives was my whole job for the rest of my life. Finally, into practice several years, I learned that if that was my end result to save lives, I was going to be a failure every time because guess what? We're all going to die. But you know what I learned? And this is really important, is I can deal with quality of life, but I can't say I can give life itself. But here's the key. The higher quality we can give that pet, the higher quality of life we can have with them.
Yeah, the more you put good things in, the more you get good things out. And that's something that's been neglected in the animal world is their nutrition. They always get second best.
In other words, if you give our pets better food, similar to what Bobby Kennedy says,
yeah, about
we should eat better food and not put all those chemicals in it.
Amen. That's exactly. And you know, he says the better you put in, you know, the better comes out. But we also get the bad things out. There's a lot of bad things in our dogs and cats and their parasites and things. If we can help get that out, they just live a better, happier, more energetic life, and that helps us live better.
Well, Dr. Howard, you know, John has been in the supermarket business for many years.
Yeah.
I used to pack the pet aisle. The cheapest food was Dash dog food, 4 for $1 cans. When I bring it home to my dog, I'd open it up, you know, with the can opener. The dog would run away. It was horrible. Alpo was considered the premium dog food back then, and that was horrible when you open it. Now they have a variety of dog foods, but it doesn't seem to do what you're trying to do, Dr. Jake and Dr. Howard, which is to allow a dog to live a full life, a healthy life, and not have the same problems that human beings have. They have all the same problems. High blood pressure, they get strokes, all the same problems they have.
You know what they've done with the dog food and the cat food and things is much what they've done for to our people food and that RFK's fighting is they just made it more palatable with chemicals. Well, Dr. Fido's is 100% natural. 100% works, and that's what it is.
And what does it come from? What is in the product? What is it that makes Dr. Fido's, your brand new product for pets, different, Dr. Howard and Dr. Jake, than any of the other varieties? Because now pet foods, they sell more than human foods. People will spend more money on their pets for all
Amen.
kinds of products and foods than they will for themselves.
Right. And most of the time you read the ingredients on that food and you don't even know what most of it is. With Dr. Fido's, it's 40 whole food ingredients, fruits, vegetables, some spices, and fiber that really gives the dog a complete balance of nutrition.
It's a concentration of real nutrition. It's not. There's no added chemicals. There's no added garbage. There's no fillers. It's what you would expect from Balance of Nature, but for your dog.
Well, you can tell a bad dog food when you smell your dog's breath. And you say, oh, my God, it must be horrible what you just ate, Fido. So will this at least not only be nutritious for the dog, give him a longer life, a better life, but they're not going to have stinky breath, which a lot of people who have dogs, they're concerned about because they figure stinky breath means, unfortunately, the dog is developing problems.
Well, hopefully they're not licking what gives them stinky breath frequently, and then it'll help. You know, I'll tell you a quick story. How this all came to be is we had a great dog, and my son Lex was a young boy, and but it was a large dog, a German Shepherd, and they get this hip dysplasia, they get this hip disease in the back quite frequently, and he wasn't that old, but he was several years old, anyways. He started getting up, and you've seen a big dog, how they get up and they get that back hip moving, kind of like people. And he was just wearing down. And one day, I took the capsules that had fallen on the floor from Balance of Nature, and one day I started giving them to him. And so pretty soon I'd toss him a capsule, and he'd jump up and grab it. And he'd love to grab things, anything that was moving, he would grab. And with time, I'd toss those up, and he'd start jumping a little more and a little more. It was a matter of weeks, and I'd just toss those capsules in the air, and he would jump up and grab them. Within a matter of a couple of months, he was jumping like a puppy again. And so this has been years in the making. It's just I was so busy helping people get where they needed to be that we had to finally come to this point. And then Dr. Jake and I got together, and I'm not a vet. I'm a people doc. But I know what makes people happy and what keeps their lives going. And just like you said, so often that's your pet. And so Dr. Jake and I got together, and we said, hey, what do I need to do to this to make it so people can accept it for their animal? And that's what we did. And keeping within that value of never sacrificing quality. It's whole fruits, whole vegetables. People, whole fruits and vegetables for your animal.
They say, well,
it's perfect for your animal, just like for you. We're mammals.
So if I were to walk into Gristedes, which I often go to on the Upper West Side with my wife Nancy, or D'Agostino, which John owns and operates, how do you get this product? Because there's a wide variety. The whole pet aisle now is packed on both sides. How do you get this new product of yours?
Now, see, this is where you always got me before, too. I think if you go to drfidos.com, you might have a better answer for this.
That's right. You go to drfidos.com, but it's spelled Dr. Fidos with Phytos. And that's because phytonutrients are the nutrients found in plants. And that's why we named it, kind of a play on words.
So
Dr. Fidos.
it's plant-based.
It's plant-based.
100%.
Wow.
And it's amazing. I recommend it to all my patients in my veterinary practice, and it makes a huge difference. If I had my wishes, every dog in the country would be on Dr. Fidos. It's gonna change their lives.
Spell that again for the audience. I mean, it's not easy to remember. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Say
somebody
it.
might say it's Greek to me because it is.
It's all Greek to me.
It's Greek. It's Greek for plant chemistry.
So it's Fidos, Phytos.
Don't you think it would be easier for people to remember if you come up with something easier?
Fido. Think of Fido.
F-I-D-O.
That's right. And we just changed it up. It's P-H-Y-T-O.
Well, I tell you one thing. Having packed out my fair share of dog and cat food when I was the key man at night at A&P, and then obviously purchasing a lot for the dogs and cats we rescue, if it's good, you'll remember that name. That's for sure.
If you ever come up with an experiment where you want to try it in the high wealthy neighborhoods, Gristedes and D'Agostino in New York, It's so you guys decide.
We're going to take you up on that.
It's a good experiment,
gonna be
especially
there.
in New York City.
Amen. We're going to take you up on that. I will tell
I
you
want
this.
our dogs to live longer.
But I'll tell you this too. Sorry to take up more time, but here so the other day we were at my house. We were doing some filming for something, and I was in a hurry, and I hadn't had my Fiber and Spice yet. So I ran over and I just opened up a jar for taking my Fiber and Spice real fast, and I took it and I was like, what's the difference here? Anyways, I had actually opened the jar of Dr. Fido's and put it in because it looks much the same. And I put it in, and it was like, what is this? It tastes totally different. But I went ahead and drank it, and it was really good and everything, great for me. I knew what I had done. I actually was taking Dr. Fido's dog topper. And somebody said, you can take that? I said, yeah, absolutely. It's human consumption. It's not something that we've swept up off the floor for your dog. And so I literally took that the other day, and I was like, hey, this isn't bad this way. If I'm in a pinch, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, it's another product of your stable of products that Dr. Howard has created over the years, Balance Nature, and this one specifically for pets.
Yeah,
It is. And like Dr. Howard said, it's made of the very best ingredients available on the planet.
Plant-based.
Plant-based.
This is incredible. I was always taught, my grandfather, Fidel Bianchino, would say, don't give the dog, kind, they call it,
yeah.
the scatterol, the escarole. He won't eat it. But the way you create this, it's not only edible, it's good for them.
It's awesome for them.
All right. Well, Dr. Howard, I want to thank you again. Many times you've come up here to WABC. We've promoted your products over and over again. And now your new product, along with Dr. Jake, which is Fido's dog food topper.
Dr. Fido's.
So, hey, John, you were the first to have Trump water in your stores, Christine.
I was.
I think you'll be the first to have Dr. Fido's.
I hope so.
We'll make
the dogs want to live longer in New York.
Yeah, healthier. Healthier is the biggest
Healthier.
thing.
All right. Well, thanks, gentlemen, for coming on up. And I and Nancy will have you on the Animal Welfare Podcast, so you can go to WABCRadio.com and you can see 40 minutes as we spend time dissecting and bisecting this great product, Fido's Dog Food Topper, right here on WABC.